but you can never hide.
What's up, guys? Goldizzy here, giving you my Against All Odds review. We have 9 matches to go over, so I'm just going to get right into it. They start off the pay-per-view with doing the first 4 matches that are in the 8-card stud tournament. Match 1 was Desmond Wolfe against the Pope. Great match. The stream I was watching on got cut off, so from what I saw of the match, it was really good. The Pope wins. I give that match 3.5 stars from what I saw. But from what I hear on the chat room, it was a really good match. Match 2 was Hernandez and Morgan. I wasn't interested in this match because they're a tag team and they're the champions. And yet they're going against each other in a tournament for a singles title. I knew something bad was going to happen, and indeed it did. Morgan gets the win by pulling on his partner's tights for the win. I mean, it was a dirty win. So there's no telling what's going to happen with them. They're probably going to end up breaking up. Regardless, I'm going to give that match 2 stars. It was not a good match. It was boring as all hell, and it just was worthless. Match 3 was Kurt Angle against Mr. Anderson. Very good match. I was really surprised. I didn't really think it was going to be all that, but it really surprised me. Angle gets busted open. Mr. Anderson takes his takes Angle's chain, his medals or some sort, digs him to his forehead, cuts him open really good. Got some really good blood action going. Mr. Anderson wins. I had Kurt Angle winning and going all the way to the end of the tournament and winning that. So my predictions weren't that great, but they weren't bad. The match was great. At the very end of the match, after Anderson pins him, he spits in his face like a true heel. So Anderson is definitely a heel in TNA. That match I give 3.75 stars, 3 3/4 stars. Next we have Abyss and Mick Foley. They make it a no DQ match. Bischoff wants to make sure there's no shenanigans, so he makes it a no DQ match, and he says he wants to see the barbed wire bat involved in the match. There is a barbed wire bat. They bring it to the ring, but they don't use it whatsoever. We do get to see chairs, and we get to see thumbtacks. We get to see the black hole slam put on by Abyss onto Mick Foley straight on top of the tacks. That was probably the best part of the match. Abyss does win. The match was it was alright. I give it 2.5 stars. Next is Nasty Boys and Team 3D. Now, I got to watch the first 3/4 of this match, and then I lost my feed, so I'm scurrying for a feed, and by the time I get it, the match is over. But the match starts off in a brawl. They're fighting outside the ring. You don't know if they're actually going to start the tag match, but they're brawling. Then they actually finally go to a normal tag match where you tag each other in and out. The match was just I missed the ending, but apparently Jimmy Hart appears on TNA, helps the Nasty Boys win. He has a helmet of some sort. He gives it to one of the Nasty Boys. They bust one of Team 3D upside the head. They get the win. I'm giving that match 2.25 stars. I wouldn't even have gave it that much, but because Jimmy Hart was there, I had to give it a little bit. So 2.25 stars. Next, we get to see round 2 of the tournament: Pope versus Matt Morgan. Pretty good match. Not bad whatsoever. Pope wins. I'm giving it 3.25 stars. Now, next we get to see Anderson against Abyss. They're fighting on the outside. He's trying to take his mask off throughout the whole match. Mr. Anderson, that is. Tries to get Abyss into his finisher, and he's trying to take the mask off again, and the mask somehow gets turned around on Abyss's face. He can't see. Abyss almost puts the referee in his finisher. He gets blind. He gets distracted. He gets mic checked. Anderson gets the win. That match was just okay. I give it 2 3/4 stars. Next we have the World Heavyweight Championship match: AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Fantastic match. Great back and forth wrestling action. Eric Bischoff is a special guest referee. Now, as far as Eric Bischoff goes, he does a really good job as referee. I was very surprised. He calls it straight down the middle, just like he said he would. And AJ Styles comes out in this Nature Boy style robe, but it's got an AJ style twist on it. He still has the the hood that goes over his face, but the rest of the whole robe is very essence of Nature Boy Ric Flair. I totally loved it. Like I said, the match is great. Flair, you know, helping out AJ as much as he can, interfering in the match. Eric Bischoff does a great job with controlling all that's going on. And Eric Bischoff is trying to get Flair to stop interfering. He decks Flair. In the meanwhile, Samoa Joe has got AJ Styles pinned, but Eric Bischoff is trying to get Ric Flair controlled. He comes back into the ring. Samoa Joe's arguing with Eric Bischoff, and he gets distracted. AJ wins the match with the Styles Clash. Great match. I'm giving it 4 1/4 stars. Then we get to see the finals. Pope versus Anderson. The band jumped the Pope before the match even starts, so it's like we don't even know if the match is going to happen. The ref is counting to a 10 count. Pope finally makes his way out to the rampways. Anderson runs out there, attacks him some more. Like the first 5 minutes of the match, Anderson won't even let him in the ring. So he's trying to get into the ring. The Pope is really looking bad. You don't know if he's going to win. And this match, you know, it really ended up being like a on the edge of your seat type of match, because you really think that Anderson's going to win, because the Pope was pretty much down the whole match. He got some offense, but, you know, it wasn't really like enough to make you think he would win. But he finally gets his second win, his third win, or his fourth win, whatever you want to call it. And he gets the DDE and the win. So the Pope is the #1 contender. I did have the Pope going all the way to the finals. I just had Angle beating him instead of the other way around. But I thought the match was pretty good. You know, I'm giving it 4 stars because the Pope wins, and the Pope is awesome. Although I didn't have him winning because I thought Angle would. But at least we're not going to see another Angles and AJ match. But I gave it 4 stars. Overall, I went 5 and 9 in my predictions. Not too bad. But for an overall pay-per-view score, I'm going to give it a 7.5. And to me, that's a solid score. Nothing to be ashamed about. Great pay-per-view by TNA. Very enjoyable. The online feed was a little troublesome at some times, but for the most part, it was very good. That's it for me. That was my TNA Against All Odds review. This is Gold Dizzy. Peace out.